I would like to switch to Linux permanently. And for those of you who have not seen the video on Mac versus PC accessibility, you will notice that my position in terms of accessibility is pro Windows. So why would I switch to Linux? Running Windows has a lot to do with it. For example, let's say that you are standing out in the middle of nowhere during a lightning storm. Now, this is just an analogy, okay? So you're standing out in the middle of nowhere during a lightning storm, right? You are Windows. The lightning is the viruses, and the malware, and the spyware, the adware. You get a sheet of metal, and you go and hide, under a tree, or no, actually, let's say, this it'll be better. Let's say in a car, okay? So let's say in a car. So you get in your car to protect yourself from the lightning. That car is Linux. By having Linux surround Windows, or actually, excuse me, by having you surrounded by the vehicle, by the metal frame, you are protected from the lightning. In the very same way, Linux wraps its frame around Windows, thus protecting the viruses. Protecting Windows from the viruses, from the lightning containing the viruses, So, running Windows in Linux is a much stabler solution than running Windows by itself. In fact, I know this will never happen, but if it were up to me and I were Steve Ballmer and I wanted to make Windows successful, I'd say, look, let's dump DOS and let's give Windows an open source Linux kernel. It would make it a lot safer, and let's run Windows in the same way that Linux is run, in the sense that Linux and Mac are run with very low privileges. I can't even adjust the... I'm not kidding when I say this. I cannot even adjust my date and time without providing administrative privileges. Okay? That is how strict Linux and Mac are about running things. Windows just has gotten to the point of protecting you in a way. They're asking, hey, this program wants to do something to your computer. Do you want to let it do something to your computer? The trouble is, for the tech-savvy people, that is very annoying. And for those that don't know anything, in terms of computers, like they may know how to get online, they may know how to check their email, but they don't know the technical nitty-gritty of how things work, and they don't recognize the file. They may, they may just say yes or no. They may say yes when in fact they should have said no. So, so anyway, it is because of these factors that I've decided to switch to Linux permanently, and I'm looking at a number of ways to do it. One of which is to boot it onto this. Now, I've booted 704 before. Excuse me. And the audio drivers were missing. Pardon me again. And so I tried to retrieve them. In the attempt to retrieve them, I was unable to log into my account. I don't know what happened, but I was unable to log into my account. That was back with Feisty Fawn. I have been through Gutsy Gibbon, Hardy Heron, Intrepid Ibex, and now I'm now running Jaunty Jackalope as a Windows 7 Wooby installation. We'll get to that in a moment. And I've heard that since then, such circumstances have improved, so I'm looking possibly at doing that. In fact, as we speak, I'm downloading an ISO of Ubuntu 9.04 Jaunty Jackalope to flash to a USB drive so that I can install Ubuntu that way. The other way I was thinking, and this would also involve the UMPC, because the UMPC would act as a terminal or a driver, essentially, between the USB drive and this. Basically booting the entire installation to this hard drive, so that whenever I walk up to any Windows system, you know, I could just run Linux, and I would have it already pre-configured, no questions asked. The only issue that I have with that is I've never done anything like that before, and I'm wondering how Linux would take to the varying hardware that it sees. The other option, like I mentioned, I have Ubuntu installed. I've got Jaunty Jackalope installed as a Wooby image on my Mac on the side of Windows 7. So basically when I start up my Mac, I hold down Option, it gives me the option for Windows or Macintosh, I click Windows, and then it gives me another option for Windows 7 or Ubuntu, and I click Ubuntu. There are a couple of problems there, one of which is the wireless. Now, I checked the forums, and unless I missed something, it sounded to me like they either solved it and I missed something, or they haven't gotten to solving it just yet. Understand that Jaunty has only been out for a month now, and I know that it has been in the beta stages for a while. But the Mac historically, until the switch to Intel processors, has not really been Linux friendly. There's always been a problem here or there with something that cannot seem to get resolved. Well, I'm actually having one of those problems as we speak. I checked the compatibility list, what is supposed to run out of the box. One of the things listed was Compiz Fusion, and I can't get that to run. I can't even get Basic Effects to run. So Compiz is there, it's in Ubuntu, but when I go to System and Appearance and I go to Desktop Effects, or I go to Effects, it won't work. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's just not working. It says that it should, but it's not. So I'm looking at UMPC. I'm looking at an external hard drive. I'm looking at my MacBook. I'm also looking at the possibility of just getting a Dell laptop with Linux pre-installed. The issue is that right now I don't necessarily need a new computer. But what are your thoughts on it? Because I definitely would like to start running Linux on a more permanent basis, because I love it. I've just always been nervous about it because every time I've tried, as I've mentioned, something has always been an issue, and particularly in the field of accessibility. Don't talk to me about Orca. I've tried Orca. It just freezes. It just doesn't work. It's not stable. I don't know what's going on, but it's something strange happens every time. It either freezes, or it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't work right. So, what do you think? Comments and questions are welcome. Negatives will be deleted. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.